So I've made a lot of videos for RunSignup, at least 3, and I've never talked about custom source tracking because I was afraid of it. I thought it was very complicated to set up. It comes along with graphs and numbers and Roy. I didn't even know who Roy was. But fortunately, Lauren Bergeron, a resident Lego expert and customer support account manager, let me know how to set it up, and it's actually very easy. So now I'm gonna pretend that I knew all this all the time, and I'll explain it to you as we look at why you should be using custom source tracking.
The running community is made up of tens of thousands of these micro communities. And all these micro communities interact. And so we thought there were opportunities in this market to build some cool technology.
Okay, so first of all, what is custom source tracking? Basically, you're tracking the effectiveness of a custom source. That doesn't really explain much. What's the effectiveness I'm talking about? What's the custom source I'm talking about? Well, in this case, the custom source that we're talking about is an online advertisement. Whether that's a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, a website banner ad, a button, pretty much any source that's bringing people to your sign-up page. And the effectiveness you're tracking is to see how many people are actually clicking on that ad, how many people are signing up because of that ad, and is that ad worth your money? So if you're doing online marketing, then you should be using custom source tracking or referrals, which we'll have a link for that at the end of this video, because custom source tracking can help you save money for your event and spend your marketing budget wisely. Let's say you have 2 custom sources, 2 ads. You've got ad A and ad B. With custom source tracking, you'll be able to see how each ad is performing separately. And this can help you make decisions like, should I put more money into ad A because it's bringing in a lot of new registrants? Should I make changes to ad B because it's not bringing in as many people as ad A? Should I consider getting rid of ad A and ad B completely and create ad C because ads A and B were not doing well at all? Now, Erik from Sourfish Events did a whole presentation at our 2017 symposium on driving registrations with referrals and social media marketing. In this video, he goes into a lot of detail on how you can improve your marketing practices, so check that out when you have a chance. The link is in the description, or you can click the link that's showing up at the top of the screen here. Definitely listen to that presentation if you want to step up your Facebook advertising game. Today, though, we're just going to listen to some advice that Erik had for testing and creating your ads, which I should have flipped that. Creating and testing your ads. You can't test it until it's created. See, this is why I don't handle the code. I do the video stuff because, like, if I mess up here, the site don't crash.
One thing that we always do as a rule at Sourfish Events is when we're marketing to runners, we say, okay, we're going to market to our past participants a little differently than we're going to market to quote unquote cold customers who have never heard of our event. We're also going to segment our audiences a little bit by gender. So we're going to market to women a little differently than we'll market to men, and also different age groups. If that's not something you're doing right now, that's something I definitely recommend you guys start doing. And we also, when we're in Facebook, we are also separating where we show certain ads. So we won't necessarily run an ad on Facebook and have it run on Instagram at the same time. We might treat Instagram a little differently. People that go on Instagram, they want to see these beautiful pictures. They want to see what their friends are eating that day, things like that. So with that in mind, what works on Facebook, it might not necessarily work the same as it does on Instagram. So when you're setting up those campaigns, think of it that way. When you do start using paid social media, the biggest thing is start with a smaller budget. If you have, say, $1,000 you're willing to spend on an ad campaign, don't blow it all in the first week. You want to start, set it really low, and then test. Because even though you might think you have this rock star ad that's going to perform really well, people might not take to it, and you can blow through a lot of money way too quickly. So always test different pictures, test different call to actions, test different headlines until you see something where you're getting a highly converting ad. Also, one thing that we've found out is combine this with your email marketing. So if you're announcing the dates for your race for 2018, set up a campaign that coincides with the start of an email. So that way people are seeing it on all mediums. So just try and think of this as not just a standalone ad, but it's working with all your other marketing efforts. We focus heavily on basically email, Facebook, and then also we do a little bit of Pinterest ads, and then we treat Instagram by itself, even though it is within the Facebook platform. probably 80 to 85% of our registrations typically come from Facebook ads. The rest, email, and then obviously referral, we've had a lot of success with, and especially last year. But on average, about 80% of our registrations we are pulling through those Facebook ads. As far as cost goes, again, this is why I say test. They can range from anywhere, like when we have a really highly performing Facebook ad, we can get a registration acquisition rate of $4 per registration. So those types of numbers are wonderful. Obviously, if you're willing to spend $4 for a $35 registration fee, that's a wonderful margin.
So that brings us to the acronym of ROI, or return on investment. The ROI tells you what your investment returned to you. Now RunSignup GiveSignup calculates the ROI for you, so you don't have to actually do the math, but in case you were curious, the ROI is figured out by taking the amount that you invested, subtracting that from the amount that you made as a result of the investment, and hopefully this number is going to be higher than the amount that you invested, because if it's lower, that means you invested more money than you actually got out of it. But then you take that number and you divide it by the amount that you invested. Then you turn it into a percentage by multiplying it by 100. So if you spend $10 on a Facebook ad, and that Facebook ad brought in $100 worth of registrations, then you take the 100, subtract 10, and get $90. Then you take that $90, divide it by your original investment of $10, and you get 9. Multiply that by 100, and you have a 900% ROI. What does that mean? It means if I have this ad here and I put $1 into advertising, so I invested $1 to run this ad on a website, then I would get 900% of that back. So $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 I get back for the $1 that I put into running the ad, which is pretty good. And even better when it's not monopoly money. So you'll probably be using like regular legal currency, so this is not going to be an issue, but yeah, the 900% ROI, that's a good thing. So if an ad has an ROI of 900%, then you might want to consider putting more of your marketing budget into that ad or ads that are similar to that one. If you have two ads and one of them is doing really well and the other one is less successful, then you can look at those ads and see if maybe there's something about one of them that is more appealing than the other one. Obviously, this ad looks a lot different than this ad over here, so you might want to consider making future ads so that they look more like the one that's doing better. Now, Erik with Sourfish was just talking about spending $4 in order to get a $35 registration fee back. So 35 minus 4 is 31. You divide that by 4, that's 7.75, and multiply by 100, that's a 775% ROI. That's the type of number you want to see when you're putting money into an advertising campaign. And again, Erik has a lot of great tips on how to get that type of success from your marketing efforts. So check out his full presentation. It is linked below in the description here on YouTube. Also, while you're here on YouTube, we post content weekly. So feel free to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way you're alerted when new videos are posted. Now to set up custom source tracking in RunSignup GiveSignup, all you have to do is go to your race dashboard, open up promotion, source tracking, and then view the source tracking code section. Click on add code, give a description. So like if I have this ad here and I'm going to put that on Facebook, I can call that Coffee Time Facebook. And you kind of want to be specific with these descriptions because when you look at the report, you're going to have all your custom sources there. So if I see Coffee Time Facebook, I know exactly what custom source this is. This is the Coffee Time ad that I put on Facebook. Maybe I have this ad running on Google too, so I have Coffee Time Google. If Facebook is doing better than Google, then maybe that helps me figure out whether I should put more money into the Facebook one or the Google one. Back to the setup though, after the description, you just enter in the amount that you'll be spending on this ad, $10. I'm not actually paying $10 in RunSignup for this. I'm just saying on Facebook, I spent $10 on this ad. So this is a record keeping thing. This is not actually a transaction. Then I just click create code and I'm ready to go. You can click on the link icon here and get your source tracking code links. You can get a special link for the race page or the sign up page. And these would be the links that you would use with your Facebook or Instagram or Google or whatever campaign that you're doing. So if I share this image on Facebook, then I want to share this link with that image, or a special link that includes this portion of the link, which actually indicates your custom source. And I'll get more into that in a minute, but once you start running your ad with that link, if it's successful, then you'll be able to see the stats improving right here on your RunSignup GiveSignup dashboard. You can see how much you spent on the ad, you can see how much you got in return, and you can see the ROI. You can edit the custom source if you need to. Maybe you said you were spending $10, but you actually spent $15. You can update that here. If you have this ad and you decide, I'm gonna try this in a different color, then you can also update the description of the original ad, say Coffee Time Facebook red version, and then create another custom source for Coffee Time Facebook blue version. Maybe you'll find that one of those ads is more appealing than the other one. It's getting more clicks based on just the slight change you've done to it.
This is one of those variables you have to constantly test and say, is it the picture? Is it the text? What is working here and what's not working?
Now back to these links here. For most people, you're going to want to have your ad campaign linked to either the race page or the sign up page. So these two links are pretty much the only two you'll need, but if you do want to direct people to another page on your RunSignup website, then you can add this code here, and this code is going to be different for each of your custom sources, so don't just go by what you're seeing in the video. I'm going to replace that with X's, so RSUS equals this for the example. Now if you'll notice here, one of these have a question mark and another has an ampersand. How do you know which one to add to your link? It's very simple. If there is no question mark in the URL yet, then use the question mark. If there is a question mark in the URL, then use the ampersand. If you have the free domain feature enabled in RunSignup, then you can add custom source tracking in the exact same way to that URL. Question mark if there's no question mark, ampersand if there is a question mark. And if you have any questions about this as you go, you can always contact us at info@runsignup.com. We're there 7 days a week. So now for another suggestion from someone who has much more marketing experience than I do. This is Thomas from Big Run Media.
We're always excited when we take on a client and they're using RunSignup because we know that the tools are there already built in for marketing. It's easy to set up the pixels, it's easy to track. One of our favorite features is the ability to create different URLs to track our marketing so that we can report back to the client. So that doesn't just mean conversions to registrations or people going to their website. We can use these URLs anywhere we want, emails, banner ads, all different types of marketing, and then track it back and say to our client where their marketing dollars are working.
So if you're doing a race and you talk to a local running company and you say, hey, can you put an ad for our race on your website? And you're doing this in exchange for putting them in your sponsors section. And let's say this level of sponsorship is like $50 normally for your race, but you're giving it to them for free. So that's $50 of an investment that you're making into this running company. Then after you have the custom source set up and they have that button in place that's using the special URL, then you can view the ROI and all of this information. But also if you go to dashboard and view your custom sources, you can see how many page views you're getting from that custom source in addition to the signups that they brought in. And signups are typically going to be lower than the page views. Not everyone who clicks the link and views your page is actually going to sign up for your race. But being able to track effectiveness like this can help you make decisions for your race next year. Because if you invested $50 into this running company and the ROI is lower than $10 you spent on a Facebook ad, you might want to spend that $50 on Facebook next year and maybe find a different type of partnership you can do next year with the running company that could be more effective to both of you. The link to that full video with Thomas is available in the description. Also, Thomas and Rachael of Big Run Media did a much longer presentation at our 2019 symposium. The presentation was digital marketing for races, and it has a lot of useful information from branding to digital marketing, so definitely check that out too. Those links are again in the description of this video here on YouTube. And also if you click up here, you can find the links to those inside. Custom source tracking is a great help to your race. Why should you set up custom source tracking? First of all, it's easy. And secondly, the information that you can get from custom source tracking can help you save money and make wise decisions with your marketing budget. If you found the information in this video helpful, please give the video a like. And if you want to learn more about the free features that RunSignup GiveSignup has to help you save time and money with your race or event, you can click on these links here.